Thank you very much. She did a great job. She was very nervous. She did a great job. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much for coming to Scape. This is fantastic. Great turnout. What I do need you to do, though, is get your mobile and make sure you have the LinkedIn app. If you don't have the LinkedIn app, download the LinkedIn app, because halfway through the presentation, I'm going to show you a trick. And you're going to love this trick, and you're going to take it to parties and events and conferences across the world, and you'll be able to do this trick as well. So make sure you have the LinkedIn app, and then you will actually be able to join in the little trick I'm going to show you later on. Welcome, welcome. Come in, come in, come in. You can take a front row seat if you want. So this is very much for you. So this is how you can use LinkedIn to enhance your personal brand, how you can socially sell, how you can use content marketing. You okay there? And so ask questions along the way. Feel free to. You've got the books in front of you as well. So if you haven't got a book, there's some spare books just behind you or in front of you. And just make sure you get a lot out of this. If you want to ask me a question later, you can ask me a question later, or you can ask me a question afterwards, or even through LinkedIn as well. So this is very much about you, but why listen to me? Welcome, sir. There's lots of other people out there who talk about LinkedIn, who say they know about LinkedIn, but they don't have 900 LinkedIn recommendations, which is what we do at Black Marketing. We also win lots of Power Profile Awards, which are basically awards given by LinkedIn for having the most viewed, the most engaged profile, so it's independent. And then there's my lovely team winning lots of awards, like the B2B Marketing Agency of the Year, for example. And we have the 3 books. So this book is available on Kindle outside of Singapore. Did you know that Kindle is banned in Singapore? You can't get Kindle in Singapore. So you basically have to get Kindle, you have to go to VPN, and then you have to download it via VPN, just like you do porn sites and good Netflix. Some people got that, okay. And then there's the personal branding book. So half of you got the personal branding book, half of you got the social selling book. And then we have the 5 brands. So we have Black, which has been going now for 6 years, employs 35, mostly Singaporeans in Republic Plaza district. We have Rockstar Keynote Speaker, which actually promotes female keynote speakers. So we're on a mission to make sure that panels and keynotes across the world actually have more female speakers, because there's too many just male speakers, male panels, male keynotes all the time. And I'm obviously in a good position to actually help fantastic female keynote speakers and up-and-coming female speakers actually become rock stars. We have Social Selling 2019, which is actually our big social selling conference, which is going to happen July the 9th at Marina Bay Sands. And then we have our PR arm, we have a TripAdvisor arm, and we have a masterclass arm. But why is social selling so important? Well, if you Google yourself, or you Google the person you're going to see when you have a meeting, what's the first thing that comes up? Usually it's your LinkedIn. So if you look at Yvette here, for example, who works for Scape, the first thing that comes up is in fact her LinkedIn. Even though I haven't put LinkedIn into Google, it still comes up first. Because Google treats LinkedIn profiles more seriously than Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or YouTube or Snapchat or even your Tinder profile. So just think about that when you think about which priority in terms of your focus of your profiles. So then you get a very good impression of Yvette as a result of that. You click on that, and that's the good impression you get. The same thing happens with you. People are researching you before they meet you. Whether it's to get a job, whether it's to win clients, investors, they're basically researching you. Same thing with Scape. You want to be joining the Scape page on LinkedIn. But why LinkedIn? I came to Singapore 10 years ago, and I didn't know anybody here. But I had 200 connections in LinkedIn in UK, and I asked them, who do you know in Singapore? And they introduced me to various people. And then I reached out to them and said, we'd like to have a coffee. Can you help me? Can I find a job in Singapore? Because I was an entrepreneur in the UK, but I couldn't transfer my business over here. And they all said yes, because Singapore's like that. It's very open-minded. Had the roles been reversed, people would have said no in London. Because people in London don't like dealing with other countries. That's why we have Brexit. That's why I escaped before Brexit happened. They don't like dealing with their nearest neighbours, whereas Singaporeans do. It's fantastic. So LinkedIn's very much all over the place, 600 million professionals, and it is very much professional. And the key to it is it is across the whole of the world. There's only 2 countries in the world that do not have LinkedIn. Can anyone guess what those 2 countries are? China. No, China has 50 million. China is the 3rd biggest country in the world. You had a question? North Korea, correct, North Korea. Which other rogue nation of the world does not have LinkedIn? Cuba. No, Cuba has LinkedIn. So does Iran. So does Syria, so does Afghanistan, so does Uzbekistan, so does Venezuela. All these countries have LinkedIn. Which rogue nation? Think about a rogue nation. North Korea, and give you a clue. What's missing? Russia, correct, Russia. Russia does not have LinkedIn. And the irony is, the reason why Russia does not have LinkedIn, because LinkedIn would not share their data with Russia, but they do share their data with China. So the China LinkedIn is not the Western LinkedIn, it's a very different LinkedIn. You can't say anything bad about China on the LinkedIn in China. I tried, and it disappeared in a millisecond. So I literally switched my VPN on and posted it again, and it came up fine. But now they banned the VPN, so that doesn't work either. Yes, the China LinkedIn is controlled by the Chinese government. So your data is being controlled there and being monitored like everything in China. So you have to accept that. But you do have access to the people in China. So we have lots of clients in Shanghai and Beijing and Guangzhou and Shenzhen and so forth. So you can use it to actually market up there. Just be careful what you say. Otherwise you might not come back. So LinkedIn is very much a gamification platform. Does anyone know what I mean by gamification? God, you were full of answers before. What's gamification mean?
Make it fun.
Make it fun, correct. So basically fun, rewards, they basically make sure it's addictive. You do things on it. They say, come back, come back, come back. You get very addicted. You end up doing things on Christmas Day, Valentine's Day, in the middle of the night when you shouldn't be, on dates, that kind of thing. And then it basically becomes addictive. So you want to basically do more and more. And the downside of that is if you stop doing it, LinkedIn effectively punish you and your rankings and ratings go down. So it does become quite addictive, but merely by doing some of the tips I show you today means that your ratings, your rankings, your searches will actually go up as a result of it. So just do a few things every day, give up Facebook and Instagram for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, and you will see massive impressions, massive reasons why your LinkedIn will actually go up. So I like this quote from James Blunt, not because I like James Blunt, obviously, because no one admits publicly to liking James Blunt. But I like this quote because it sums up LinkedIn. I'm self-deprecating because I'm British. If I was American, I would tell you how great I was. Because Americans are inbuilt, with a DNA which says promote, 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 from an early age. And they're taught, I kid you not, they're taught at school to do pitching. That never happens in a Singaporean school, let alone a British school. They're never taught to do pitching at a British school. But this is very much about LinkedIn. Americans will promote themselves, promote themselves, promote themselves. They have no problems claiming things. We just have to look at who's the president of the United States to see that. Not all of it has to be true either, as we see. But British people and Asians and Aussies, for example, say, no, I can't promote myself. It's very much a team effort. It's part of the whole team would do part of this. But the problem with doing that is there will be some American who then comes along and wins that business or wins that venture or wins that job or wins that employee. So you have to become more American and less English if you want to win that client. So you have to do a bit more self-promoting, factually, but tell the story as it is. So we believe there's 4 different ways you can enhance personal branding on LinkedIn. You can win LinkedIn. Personal branding is one of them. Very much about you. Content marketing is very key. And I'll talk a lot today about content marketing. You have to do more content marketing. Company branding, you market your company through your personal brands. And social selling. And you can't do social selling unless you've got the other tips lined up. So your visual impression is very important. So I'm obviously a big believer in visual impressions. You have to have big visual impressions, especially on LinkedIn, to create wow factor. So if I show you this picture, you have a big visual impression of what the Joker means in terms of his brand values, his dress sense, his makeup. He's about chaos and technology and disruption and no agenda. So you have brand values next to it. You all have brand values too. And you get a first impression when you look at your LinkedIn, just like if you looked at Steve Dawson here. So he's on Fox Sports, but he also wants you to know he's a coach. So he's gone big and gone, I'm a coach, like nobody's business. Or Karen here. Karen's the GPS girl. So Karen is the voice behind recalculating. She's on 2.5 billion devices. So she's created an entire brand based on being the GPS girl. So her mohawk is GPS. And I believe everyone has a metaphorical mohawk. Her mohawk is just the GPS. But as you see here, she's also a keynote speaker, concert performer. But she's built the brand on being the GPS girl. Because then people know who she is. And she's absolutely fantastic. You got Frederick here, who's based in Singapore, the global conference speaker. He wants you to know he's spoken in more countries than anybody else. He's got big on the back about being a global speaker, picture, and he says it there. So you know what his brand values are. He's a fantastic speaker. Even Sophia the robot's on LinkedIn. And I met her in Hong Kong and she even accepted my invitation. So I was very pleased with her. So what not to do? Don't do this. Because as much as I might aspire to being George Clooney one day, I'm not. so I can't use his profile picture on my LinkedIn. Or this is what I call your classic Facebook photograph. You're down Boat Quay, you've had a few drinks, you're in some KTV bar, 3 o'clock in the morning. Someone says, dress as a panda. You agree because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you've had a few drinks. And somebody else says, why didn't you upload this to your LinkedIn, Chris? And you've had a few drinks, you'll agree to anything, you've done it, and in the morning you go, that wasn't a very good idea. So don't post Facebook photographs. Which one's Melita? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. If you can't have one person, how do you create a relationship with that one person? You don't know who that person is. Why would you do this as your picture? Unless you're selling Guinness, because that's the symbol of Guinness, that's not a great picture to have. Animals are not great on LinkedIn. And this guy could not decide which picture to use, so he used all of them. Not a great idea either. And Elizabeth here went for the full Tinder look. That's her Tinder picture there, I believe. But the problem is that she works for Hyatt Hotels, and she's in charge of human resources. Hashtag me too. Definitely don't do this, especially if you live in China. It's really not a great idea. Jason hasn't been seen for several weeks now.